Hello everybody, and thank you for joining me. I'm Mika, and this is Mika Plays Green Hell. If you happen to enjoy this kind of content, leave a like, consider subscribing, and by all means comment down below. So here we are in the Amazon. I think it's supposed to be the Amazon. Either way, first things first, we are going to have to get some basic tools and weaponry, and I'll try to show you how to go about doing that. So what we need from the get-go is a big stone that we can harvest into three smaller stones, and we can usually find those around these big rock formations. There we go. And I hear bees, so I'm not going to go any further that way. We need a stick, and now we can make the first important weapons or tools. A stone blade, first of all, for all of our cutting needs, and a stone axe. It looks like we're not too far from the fishing village, so we may as well go there. We'll be able to pick up a few blueprints. And it's a decent spot for getting organized. But we'll not be staying here. I'm thinking we're moving to the drug facility pretty fast, so this is just for convenience as we go about getting ready. First off, we're building a small fire here. Not so good for fats. Pick them up whenever you can. I'll take these with us. You can use one of those for creating your first bow, but right over there we have bamboo, and the bamboo bow, I believe it's better, so we may as well hold off until we've done, so that we can do that one instead. Some lianas for rope. Always try to see if you can keep your backpack filled with rope. You need a lot of it throughout the game. This plant is called a moliniara, and it's used for molinaria, and it's used for creating bandages. So always make sure you have some of those in your backpack. Later on we will be making more advanced bandages by combining them with other herbs, but for now even the basic bandage is far better than having nothing. I'm also hoping that we'll find a dead bird somewhere. You always do, but you kind of have to wait for it sometimes. Let's make our first bow. Combine that with a rope and you get a bamboo bow. And as soon as we have managed to find a bird and harvested that, we'll have feathers, and that'll enable us to create arrows for the bow. I'm not having much luck with that right now. Or am I? I thought I saw something. Let's get rid of those. Harvest this. Not the best spot to drop these, but I think we found them all. And now that we're here, we are going to take this guy too. The poor turtle. But we need his shell, so he's gonna have to die. If you notice the lower left corner, you'll see that I have a indicator with a splash symbol on it and the number 2. This is an indicator of how dirty you are. And the mechanics of this game includes being dirty as something that can harm you. So before you eat, always make sure to wash off dirt. Takes a few times to get it down. But like I said, always make sure you're clean before you eat, and also whenever you get a wound, make sure to clean yourself before bandaging, otherwise it will become infected. Let's see, how are we doing? We're great. Let's pick up a few more small sticks. If we end up having trouble finding enough small sticks, we can always harvest the big sticks. Every big stick that we harvest gives us 2 small sticks. We're going to take this one too. This large shrub with round red flowers. That gives you this, a cassava bulb, and a few small sticks. The cassava bulb you can fashion into soup. And that has a very, very high count of carbohydrates. So you definitely want that one. There's something I've neglected to do, and I think that's going to bite me in the ass right about now, but I should have collected one of these small leaf piles early on, because over time they will dry out in your backpack, becoming dry leaves, and those you need for tinder. we'll go ahead and make a few arrows right now. Just so that we have a means of defending ourselves if something creeps up on us, which it may very well. I did notice the fruit that I just ran past. We'll pick that up later. That specific fruit has some very nice qualities too. Unlike the cassava root, it has no spoil timer, so it stays good. And it also holds a lot of carbohydrates, not quite as much as the cassava, but very decent. Let's see if we can't get this fire going now. First off, we need something to create a fire, so we'll make a hand drill. And right, that's the problem. We have nothing to use as tinder. Let's get some of these things taken care of. Well, I may as well take this one out. These are some of the blueprints that I noticed. When you watch these constructions out in the world, you get the blueprint for it. Now I really don't need the fishing spear. I picked it up so that I would learn the blueprint, but I can demonstrate how it functions. So if you want to throw it, you hold down the middle mouse button, and there's an animation as the crosshair comes together, and that's basically your sighting function. If you release it before it's all the way closed up in the middle, you'll probably miss. Now let's test out the bow on this guy. The armadillo, when you harvest it, it gives off its outer shell, and that's one of the best armors you can get in the game. So you definitely want to get those pretty early on when you can. The way you make them is you combine them with banana leaves. We have those here. And a couple of ropes. So that gives us armadillo armor. And that's enough for one limb. You have the ability to place armor on every limb, so you basically need to craft 4 of these. But having one is a good start. And we'll just have to try and remember every time we see an armadillo to collect it and harvest it, so that we can eventually be fully armored. Now I noticed these fruits here, and that's why I walked over here, but as you can see, I'm actually dirty. So I almost did the thing that I want you not to do, and that's eat while you're dirty. Actually, hold on. Let's do it and see if we get a parasite, and I'll show you how to deal with it. It's not that difficult, it's just annoying. We actually might not get one because we're not that dirty. It goes up to 5, so in the low ones that's not necessarily a big issue. Also, these Brazil nuts that drop underneath the big trees, very good source of of fats, more so than the unknown nuts that we picked up earlier. Also on these big trees, sometimes you'll find these blue mushrooms. Those are used for increasing your energy by quite a lot. So you definitely want to keep that in mind when you're out and about, that if your energy is dropping low and you can find one of these big trees and you're lucky enough that it has these blue mushrooms, well, that's an easy way to raise your energy significantly, so that you can maybe get home or whatever you're trying to accomplish. Let's take a look at these Brazil nuts. You have to harvest them. That'll give you a Brazil nut bowl, the outer shell. To my knowledge, it doesn't have much use, but once harvested, you'll have 3 of these Brazil nuts that you can eat. Ah, there we go. Now we got the parasites. But I don't know if you saw, but it gives you 35 fats. So it is by far one of the most efficient sources of fat in the game. And by the way, so long as you don't harvest them, they do not have a spoil timer. So you can keep those laying about in your base or in your backpack without any issue. Now these red mushrooms that grow on logs that lay about, we'll start by washing ourselves. They are the cure for parasites, and as you can see, I got a parasite from eating before. Eating one of those will cure it. However, if you neglect to wash yourself before eating it, you may rid yourself of one parasite, but you might actually get a parasite from eating again without being clean. And now it started to rain, and that gives me the opportunity to show you that if you leave any kind of shell out, it might be a coconut shell or one of these shells, it will slowly fill up with clean water, whereas this is dirty and will give you parasites if you drink from it. And you can see you can drink from it already, giving us 4 hydration, not much, but the shell holds 30 when it's full. For now, I'm pretty much just waiting for the small leaf pile to dry so that I can start a fire. We're doing pretty good, so I'm just passing time. That could have been done better if I had remembered to do that early on, picking up a small leaf pile. It might have been dry now, but there are ways around it. I just really don't want to do it, but for the sake of showing you, you can cut down one of these palms, and as you can see, some of the leaves are dry, so picking those up will give you dry leaf that acts as tinder. The rest of the leaves, the green leaves, you can use for building structures, for roofs and whatnot. The reason that I don't like to cut down these nut trees is because well, they're the one who drops the unknown nut, and it will grow back eventually, but not for some time, and while it's cut down like this, obviously it won't drop any nuts, and you kinda need those. Anyways, we have a lot of tinder now, so let's go and see if we can get a fire going. So we use the hand drill, take a piece of tinder, place it in.
Bitch!
And I do apologize for Jake's language. So there's a fire, enabling us to now cook meat. And significantly, I'm going to drink this water. and then pick this up. We can place this ball on here, and I don't have a bite at this time, but if we get lucky and find a coconut somewhere around here, I can show you how to make your first emergency bite from a coconut shell. You'll not be using that throughout the game. You'll find better stuff down the line, but for a start, that's your go-to. But those coconuts are something. Sometimes they're quite a hassle to find. And yet, here we go. That's a green coconut. You can pick that up. You can only carry one. You can't do much with it. So putting it down, you can hit it with your axe. It now becomes an ordinary coconut. And you can now drink from it. Having done that, you can now craft it into a biden using one rope. Like so. And if you notice in the lower left corner, we now have a magnifying glass symbol. That indicates that, yeah, right over there on the right it says leech -1 sanity. The magnifying glass indicates that there's something wrong with you that you can inspect your way out of. Let's do that. Press this to hide the armor so that we can see what's below it. And there we go, a leech. We just pick that off and we're good. You get the same indicator when you get wounds, so you basically have to check yourself whenever you have that symbol. Anyway, let's go fill up the biden. Like so. You just drag it to the indicator on the water source, and the same way when you want to fill this turtle shell. Now you can see the dirty water cooking, becoming clean water. And there we go, we can now add the unknown bulb. Let that cook up. Meanwhile, this has been cooked. We can cook another one of those. And now we have the cassava soup. As you can see, it gives you 50 carbohydrates, 8 sanity, 10 energy, and 25 hydration. Now the carbohydrates, energy and sanity, you get that from each drink that you take from each sip you take from the shell. So if you always make sure that you are fully hydrated before you eat, that you don't need water, you'll always take the smallest sip that you can, and that leaves you 2 sips from a shell like this, and that doubles the amount of carbohydrates you get from it. Now if you want to save your fire, not having to restoke it with sticks all the time, you can simply wait for everything to be done and then pour water over it, and it'll be ready to go again. You can simply light it again, and you don't spend the fuel in it, the sticks in it. But let's eat the turtle's meat and see where we are at. We're actually pretty good on everything, but let's see. What do we need? Well, honestly, I don't need much from here. There are some mattresses here that we're going to use to get a good night's sleep in a short while, and that'll be day 1. From here on out, we have a bow, we have arrows, we have a way of defending ourselves, we have the basic tools that we need, and we have cassava soup that we can place inside a Biden, enabling us to carry it with us. And having just said that, I actually remember that it's true you can do that, just not with the coconut Biden. There's also a metal Biden in the game, and you can't do it with that either anymore. Down the line you'll be able to create pottery at a workstation that you build. We're not there yet, but eventually we will be. And the pottery you make there, you can use to store soups in and carry them with you. So fact of the matter is that we actually don't need anything else from here. I'll wait for this to cook up. Well, it has. And I'm thinking I'll cook the last piece of meat, maybe the fish, and then we'll sleep. And in the morning I'll eat the cassava soup and some pieces of meat, and then we'll be ready to go to the place that we want to build at. But that'll be for the next episode, so thank you for joining me, and I'm hoping that you liked the content. If you did, please hit the like button, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.